What's up guys, it's me again, and today we're going to be making another video. The last video I made where we were talking about how they're going to ban militias. I got a couple more videos I'm going to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about how proposals to change Social Security moving through Congress, Supreme Court, and I actually kind of don't like how they're trying to change Supreme Court, or they're trying to change the Social Security programs. I'm going to talk about this a little bit here, so let's get right into this. Proposals that would significantly change Social Security program that millions of Americans have relied on for retirement since 1937 are moving through Congress and the U.S. Supreme Court. The House Budget Committee recently approved a bill that would form a 16-member fiscal commission to review the retirement program and other that face serious shortfalls. Republicans Jody Arrington of Texas and Bill Hausita of Michigan, Democrats Scott Peters of California, and centrist Organization Committee for Responsible Federal Budget are among supporters. West Virginia Democrats Senator Joe Manchin and Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney introduced similar legislation in the Senate. The idea has attracted opposition from a wide spectrum, from conservation advocacy groups, Americans for Tax Reform, to Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon. Opposition to Fiscal Commission, ATR and other conservative parties called the Fiscal Commission a tax trap designed to get Republican fingerprints on a tax increase in exchange for spending cuts that never materialize. In 2010, a fiscal commission led by former Wyoming GOP Senator Alan Simpson and Erskine Bowles, who was Bill Clinton's chief of staff, proposed tax hikes that would have raised taxes over the next decade by $2 trillion. The groups charged 11 of the 18th Commission members approved a plan to increase the Social Security retirement age and cut some benefits, as well as increase the federal gasoline tax in 2012. The full House overwhelmingly rejected that plan, and that was in 2020, by the way. And then Senator Wyden said that it's a statement that another commission that would want to implement significant cuts, not just to Social Security but Medicare, Medicaid. Republicans in Congress know their plans to gut American Social Security Medicare benefits are deeply unpopular, so they are resorting to schemes that short-circuit the legislative process, rushing through cuts to Americans' earned benefits, Wyden said. He said the term fiscal commission is the ultimate Washington buzzword, and it translates to trading away Americans' earned benefits in secretive closed-door process instead of trying to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Republicans should work with Democrats to ensure their wealthy pay their fair share, which would go a long way towards Social Security and Medicare long into the future. Numerous officials have proposed changing the program, such as raising the qualifying age. Former President Donald Trump proposed reductions of Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Supplementary Security Income, SSI, designed for low-income people and those with disabilities. Those cuts were taken out by Congress. Yeah, and definitely I don't think people with SSDI and Supplementary Security Insurance should be cut, because some people don't deserve to be tortured just for being disabled and shit. Sometimes there's people that with disabilities that would love to work, but people don't let them work, or they, you know what I mean? So sometimes I think like people discriminate against people with disabilities, so then it forces people with disabilities to leave a lot of crime. And like, you don't really want to fuck with people with disabilities. Like, some of those people with disabilities, if you just told some disabled people that were never giving you Social Security and like, you know, not, and we're never gonna give you a job. Like, they'd be robbing and killing, kicking doors in, shooting. Like, wait till you get murdered by a disabled person because you guys didn't give them SSDI type of shit. You know what I mean? You're robbed at gunpoint because a guy didn't get SSDI. That's the reason why I don't support what former President Donald Trump proposed, because I think he's kind of retarded about that shit. Like, he's kind of like a fucking big fat, you know, rich guy, and he doesn't know what it's like to be out in the streets. And he thinks more like a rich guy sitting in a big building. He doesn't think like a poor person that knows how, like, you know, like how people needing money affects people's decisions and stuff like that. So shame on Donald Trump for talking about, like, you know, getting rid of or lowering SSDI and SSI, because that's kind of a bad idea. Anyways, I'm going to keep reading. Social Security is funded primarily through payroll taxes. Not all retirees can access the funds. Most government employees covered by pensions are not eligible. As many as 66 million Americans depend on Social Security, according to AARP. A recent survey by the AARP found more than 70% called Social Security one of the most important government programs. An overwhelming majority of Americans, Democrats and Republican independents alike, agreed Social Security should have never been used as a budget bargaining chip. It is an earned benefit and a sacred promise that must be kept. Most support taking steps to ensure the program's solvency. She said this is a complex issue that cannot be resolved by simply raising the retirement age or reducing benefits, as some have suggested. Jenkins said strengthening Social Security requires an unprecedented degree of collaboration between our elected officials and the American people. A majority of respondents to an Associated Press poll supported increased taxes of Americans making more than $400,000 to help strengthen them. Supreme Court yet to rule in the landmark case. Last October, U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments on the case that claims that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was unconstitutional. Plaintiffs argued were based on their interpretation of the Constitution would invalidate Social Security, Medicare, and countless other federal programs, wrote Ian Millhiser, a senior correspondent for Vox. Earlier, federal appeals judge appointed by Trump concluded that the CFPB was unconstitutional, causing concern among advocates of Social Security. The CFPB was established in 2011 by the Dodd-Frank financial reform law to protect consumers from predatory financial practices. While some legal analysts reported that the highest court appeared skeptical of gutting the CFPB, some say it could lead to some more change. The court has yet to rule on this case. And yeah, that's basically all that's left. Personally, I don't really think that they should be 100% just increasing taxes on anybody. Like, they're saying that they should increase taxes. Like, maybe they should on people that earn more money. But I think the key takeaway here is the fact that, like, they were talking about, like, how they actually want to reduce some of the benefits. They want to, like, and stuff like that. And I really don't think they should be reducing any of the benefits. They shouldn't be, like, decreasing any of the the stuff you get from Social Security. I think that is kind of like something that's really, like, really dramatic to me. Like, it doesn't even matter, like, what necessarily is happening in our economy. They should at least be giving people kind of like the stuff that they earn. So I think that's kind of fucked up. And they, they're talking about raising the Social Security age. I think that's kind of fucked up. I think people should be allowed to just get Social Security at the ages that they were originally promised to get Social Security. And if anything, maybe they should raise the wages, because sometimes I think it's like the rich are really fucking some of us over, and the rich have an ungodly amount of money. And sometimes I think the rich really should have to pay for some of the poor and some of the decisions that some of the rich make, because you got to think of the rich and their politicians, their super PACs. Sometimes I think the rich really do have a big influence on the decisions being made in this country, and you got to think of all the people that fought and died for this country, all the people that worked their ass off in this country. They don't deserve to get used up and fucked over by the rich and their politicians and everything. And think about it, the rich got rich off of all these people working their asses off, and now people are getting old and they can't take care of themselves. Now the rich are trying to take away your Social Security to fuck you over. They used you up and got as much work out as they could, and now that you're old, they're just being like, fuck you guys, we're not going to give you Social Security. And then maybe some of your kids come out disabled and they don't want your disabled kids having Social Security. And then, you know what I mean? So I think overall, I think it's kind of fucked up how they're trying to like screw people over. I think personally, regardless of what the article said, they need to just keep Social Security like how it is. They need to just maybe raise it slowly, steadily, just to make it to where it stays and keeps pace with everybody and makes it to where the program stays stable. And if they do have to increase taxes, maybe they should, but I don't think they should really be cutting Social Security. You know what I mean? Because the way they got people, promise they're going to get Social Security, I don't think they should cut it. Because if they were going to cut Social Security, there would have to be more to it, and I think that would have to be a whole different video specifically. But I think right now, based off the information provided, this is just stupid. If anything, they should just like I'm saying, they should just fucking they gotta stop going after people like that are like disabled and old and shit. Sometimes I feel like the government and all these rich Republicans are just pissed off that that they gotta even pay money for any disabled people, that gotta even pay any money for old people and shit. And it's pretty screwed up because like it says right here, they want to increase the retirement age, so maybe they want to keep you from ever even being able to retire if they could. So they'd try to screw you guys out of some of this money any way they could. And this isn't something that's really benefiting anybody other than the rich. This isn't even, in my mind, a Republican or a Democrat thing. Sometimes it's just a rich versus the poor issue. And as a normal class person, a middle class, lower class person, like a non-rich person, you should really at least be in support of Social Security to some degree, because the taxes on Social Security are mostly going to affect the rich and everything, and you know what I mean. And some of these rich people don't really care that much for some of our class. They only care about themselves, and they discriminate against the old. When you get old, you wouldn't even be able to work anyways. So sometimes you got to really be thinking about how you got to watch your own ass and really be caring about yourself. You can't let these rich people con you into thinking like getting rid of Social Security be a good thing, or cutting some of these programs would be a good thing. They'll say lower taxes means more jobs, but then when you get older and you need Social Security, even if there is more jobs, the old people won't even have Social Security, so when you get older, you won't even be able to take care of yourself and shit. Or they want to cut disability Social Security, but then disabled people won't even have a way to get by, and like crime would increase and stuff, and they're basically just setting people up with a high crime future, more jails, and I feel like some of these people are okay with the for-profit prison system, so they definitely want to cut people off the welfare. You know what I mean? Or their Social Security and shit, because these people don't really care about the poor. They don't care about the people. All they care is about the money in their pockets. So this is kind of fucked up in the way. So, you know what I mean? Just definitely. I definitely don't support some of the shit they're talking about in this article. I definitely just support the welfare, or the Social Security system as it is. Maybe small expansions here or there. Maybe they should create a UBI system, is what I was talking about in that other video. But I definitely don't think they should be cutting any of the taxes or raising the age. They shouldn't be taking away any of that Social Security disability, or they shouldn't be increasing any of anything or cutting any of the benefits. I thought that was just all a bunch of bullshit. So I don't know, you guys can agree with me or disagree with me. It's just, I think it's kind of cruel and messed up, and sometimes if you were actually really smart about this, you would realize that if they didn't pay for Social Security disability, and if they didn't pay for Social Security, I think less people would be willing to work, or less people would be willing to do certain types of jobs. Or you would definitely see more people committing crimes, definitely, because it would say if they were just throwing disabled people or old people into the streets, you'd see more older people committing crimes, you'd see more disabled people committing crimes. I mean, it would just be a nightmare, and I really don't think that's the world a lot of you guys would see. Some of you guys are just thinking way too much like a poor person listening to somebody, and you're not thinking as much like a rich person. Those rich people got money. They got money that they could just throw at this issue, and then that would end crime. So sometimes you got to realize how much money those rich people have and how greedy they are. So definitely, they could raise the taxes on some rich people. So in a way, I would support raising taxes if that was the solution that they had to do to keep the Social Security as it is, because you don't think of like how greedy it is. Like, you know what I mean, they would, you know what I mean, they'd, you know, starve retarded people or force, you know, mentally retarded people into a life of crime because, you know, they don't make money off of like Social Security, but they'll make money off the for-profit prison system because they would rather, instead of giving a person Social Security, they'd rather you be in their prison system and everything. So that's kind of like how evil and fucked up these people are. So definitely really kind of keep that in mind, guys. And like always, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys could donate money to my Cash App, that'd be great. If you could like, rate, comment, and subscribe, that'd be great. And like always, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.